Hi there, thanks for tuning into another episode here on the Anime Hime podcast. Today I'll be going over my first impressions of the spring season so far and touching on my upcoming cosplay as Nana Osaki. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Anime Hime podcast, where I talk about all things anime, convention going, and cosplaying. We're going to be jumping right into our topic, but first, a question. What is an unexpected ship of yours? For me, personally, it's Bakudeku. And I just got done watching the first couple episodes of My Hero with a friend. And yeah, they're definitely star-crossed lovers. Don't try to tell me that the way that Midoriya ran instantly to save Bakugo, completely quirkless and helpless, wasn't just the most romantic thing you've ever seen. Tell me Bakugo isn't just actually a tsundere who's in love with Midoriya and teases him to cover up the fact that he actually finds him quite admirable and lovable. Tell me that's not the case. Let me know what you think and talk about your favorite ships, unexpected ships, in the comments below. Now for our topic today. I thought that there was a lot of two-part releases, and I really wonder why that is. The first one that we're going to get into being an archdemon's dilemma on how to love your elf bride. I thought the animation in the first half of the episode was booty cheeks. And then moving on to episode 2, it was so perfect. And I wonder why they didn't stay so consistent moving from episode 1 and 2. I would think that, episode 1 would be the one that has the higher quality animation, the more consistent look overall. But they flipped it, and maybe that was why they released 2 episodes. I really hope that overall, despite the show being very wholesome, she drops the "how do you want me to die" Gochichi-sama trope. I got really old by the end of episode 2, and I think the show is wholesome overall, but I really don't want to hear her thinking she's going to die at his hands every single opportunity she gets the chance to ask the question, because he's already explained to her that you're not going to die. That's not why you're here. I do, however, wish that he would just come out and say, "I'm in love with you." It was love at first sight. It's like, why is that so hard to say? But, then again, I guess he's an archdemon for a reason. Moving on, we got That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 1. Rimuru was not fucking around. He took shit over. Diablo was too easy to read the whole time that they were talking down on Rimuru after him being so gracious to allow 3 options at their disposal. I thought that Diablo being just so angry and so visibly happy anytime the shift between talking bad about Rimuru versus talking good about him would happen, and the 2 that were in front of him shaking in their boots anytime he was pissed off was too funny. The way he had healed the king and just dropped a bomb on him the second he healed him was too good, and honestly probably a power strat as well. The art style was changed ever so slightly, and I'm honestly here for it. I like the way that animation studios will keep things fresh by altering things a little bit. It makes it still visually appealing and interesting to watch. And leaving off with the fact that Veldora is too funny. He is too obsessed with manga. I won't say too obsessed. There's no such thing as too obsessed with manga. But he was definitely heavily involved to the point that he himself almost forgot some very important things that happened in the previous seasons. Next show we're going to cover is Astro Note episode 1. This was so funny, and I love the retro art style of the show. It reminded me of Princess Jellyfish, another show you should really go check out. Has the same type of feel. They're both a part of a share house storyline, which always hits home for me. And the fact that he's a chef, he made that fried fish look too good. And the little sauce that he had on the side, yeah, I need to try that. I want to make that myself. Him trying to take the job just to get with the landlord, though, very sweet, because he definitely wasn't one to have strong ulterior motives when taking this. He just really wanted a job, and he also wanted to be the one to cook her breakfast. That's the most romantic thing you could say to anyone, and I hope that she ends up falling for him, despite the dog trying to attack him every chance that he got, despite it not being an actual dog. It seems like that dog is actually a protector of hers from the alien planet that she came from. She definitely doesn't know anything about Earth yet. Not enough, at least. And yeah, I'm excited to see how their dynamic continues. And I'm excited to see how the dad and his son's dynamic continue. I think they're probably my two favorite in the show so far. I loved how the dad was just so honest about the best part of being unemployed, which is going back to sleep. That makes me a little bit jealous, not gonna lie. But yeah, Astronaut's one that I'm definitely going to be continuing for the rest of the season. It seems really entertaining. And I want to know if he ends up finding out that she's actually an alien. We'll have to stay tuned. Moving on, we got I was reincarnated as the seventh prince so I can take my time learning magic. This is a show I was not expecting to, first of all, watch, second of all, enjoy. The animation, though, was quite literally bonkers. I wasn't expecting this to come out the gate so strong, but just like the main character, this show has a lot of fight behind it. And I know that it can definitely pull ahead, probably in the top 5 for this season if they play their cards right. You know how it goes. I do want to ask though, why did they draw him so curvy? I thought 9-year-old boys were just like skinny little twigs, not like slim, thick, undefeatable mages. So maybe that was a little weird in my opinion. But we're gonna leave this show off with the fact that Grimm was trying so hard to fight him, and he just kept literally eating every attack that he threw at him, to the point that he was like licking his fingers at the taste of his magicals, pretty much. I was not expecting that. And the fact that he was like so undefeatable is probably pretty terrifying, considering he's a child and doesn't probably quite know wrong from right. This was such a great watch, and the fact that his Grimm was shaking so hard beside him because he could feel how dense his aura was. His aura looked so dense. It honestly might be as strong as Freeren's. I don't know. Despite the fact that he's 9, this guy could put up a fight. And I'm excited to see where this show goes. And I hope he takes his time learning magic. Next up, we got a show called A Condition Called Love. I don't necessarily remember his name, but the main character, the male main character, was such a wholesome simp. And I gotta say simp because he was willing to do anything for her. She didn't even need to ask. She didn't want to ask. But she was just so self-aware to the fact that he is wholesome and willing to do all of this for her, but she doesn't even know what love is, doesn't feel like she can reciprocate the feeling of love. And he just reassured her that everyone deserves to love, everyone can love, and he just like made it so that she understood that like you're not like an outcast in this, everyone can do this, and I want to love you. And I just love how he just like accepted her for how she was. And yeah, I mean, this show seems really sweet so far. I'll definitely be continuing this show probably for the whole season. Next up, we got Sound Euphonium. Now, I'm a big fan of this universe and this story and the series altogether, and mostly because of the animation, but the character design is amazing. And season 3 did not let up on that. The animation and the character design go hard as always, and they did not falter. I love how they describe the euphonium being a very round and whole sound. I thought that was a pretty accurate description. It honestly, the sound of it makes my brain kind of buzz, and I don't know. I just love how it sounds to me. Maybe it's like a little stim for me at this point. But yeah, I mean, I love this show, and I'm excited to see how all of the different types of interactions with the different ages, so like all the first years interacting with each other, and then the first years and the third years especially. I'm really excited to learn more about, I'm pretty sure her name was Mayu, the girl that we met at the very end playing the silver euphonium. Just like their senpai, I'm really excited to see just how everyone interacts with each other. I'll leave the show off by saying I'm not really sure that I was expecting Kumiko to be the president. I was thinking it would be maybe more Sapphire or even Reina, despite like the fact that she's pretty mellow and introverted. She's very serious about what she does, and I want to know if Kumiko lives up to being a good president. I'm not sure if she's a good candidate for the role yet myself, but she is very responsible, which is something I do like about her. So we'll have to see where this goes. I'm looking forward to finishing this show off. I mean, I hope it's not ending with 3 seasons, because their first year was 2 seasons, but their second year was one movie. And I just feel like the time of all of that wasn't really equal. So hopefully for their third year, they get 2 seasons. That would be stellar, but that might be also asking too much. Moving on, we got Vampire Dormitory. Now, this is the one where I wrote the most notes, because within the first 1 minute of the show, I had almost 3 separate aspects to write about it. The water droplets in the first minute of the show were animated. I have it written here, literally breathtakingly as fuck. Like, it looked amazing, and I was not expecting the show to have such high quality animation, but it definitely did. I mean, I really thought that she did not have the best of luck in this show. She doesn't want to kill herself, then accidentally almost kills herself, gets her blood sucked twice in like the first 5 minutes of the show, gets fired, lets us know that her parents both died randomly, and she isn't really accepted by any of her family members, which I just think is so depressing. Like, all of that on top of itself is just so sad. And then you finally get someone who just says, I'm going to accept you, I'm going to love you, you're going to be my blood bank, essentially. And he's doing it for pretty much selfish reasons, but she needed that love. She needed to love someone. I mean, she almost wanted to kill herself. So the fact that he explained like the whole situation to her so well, and she understood so quickly, I feel like they're definitely a match made for each other. And I mean, he went straight to first name, so I think he might feel the same way too. Yeah, I'm really excited for the show. I will say though, despite the fact that she is obviously pretending to be a boy, it doesn't really give me BL vibes quite yet. Maybe it will going forward in the show, and I love a good BL story, but so far it's just giving off, almost like Tomo-chan is a girl type of vibes, how she's definitely more masculine presenting, but she's so obviously a girl, at least to me. Maybe not the rest of the characters in the show, but yeah, I mean, definitely looking forward to more of this show. And the music, the ending was really fun and upbeat. And yeah, I love the show so far. Moving on, we got Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, episode 1. Now, this show was a little unexpected for me. I mean, I was excited for it because I just love the idea of like idol shows and idol series. But this show started out very rebellious yet heartfelt. I love their characters and the designs and how they like interacted with each other. And I just got to stop and say the jellyfish graffiti art was so beautiful. The mural was absolutely beautiful, and I just wasn't expecting it to be so striking. I would literally buy that print off of like Redbubble, or I'd even buy like an official print of that artwork because it was like so beautiful. I just love all the colors, and I love jellyfish. I didn't know that they couldn't swim at night either. Did you know that? Because I definitely did not. And I also thought that her voice was so pretty. The way that she just laid bare her soul and just sang everything she needed to say in that moment on someone else's live stream was just too good. I love how she wasn't afraid to like talk about her feelings of being an imposter, and wanting to show the world who you are, wanting to shove it in the face of everyone that's laughed at you or looked down on you. I know that feeling a little bit too well. And I mean, this is a show that I definitely relate to. And I think that the two characters so far complement each other super well. And yeah, I just really cannot wait to see more. Moving on, we got Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Part 2, Episode 1. It started off a little slow for me, probably because they were doing a tiny little bit of recap, but I still think Rudius and Sylphiette are so cute together. Rudius is the enemy of the sassy man apocalypse, okay, y'all? Like, he communicates. He is not afraid to go out and make decisions on his own. He went and literally bought them a house. He doesn't know exactly what he's doing yet, but he's doing it, and he is not going to stop because he loves her so much. Even when she started to waver and say, like, I feel like I'm being so selfish and I don't know, like, how this is going to work out, he just said, you're mine and we're going to make this work. And I just thought that was so sweet and genuine, the way he would check up on her and reassure her. It just made me so happy. Sylphiette's so just she's a beautifully drawn character, but her personality is beautiful as well. Her earnest vibes are just everything the show needs, I feel, after there being so much chaos in the first 2 seasons. And I also just love how proud he was of the house that he bought. I thought that the fact that he was running around and showing her all of the different rooms that he put together and decorated and furnished was just so sweet. And she just loved everything that he wanted to make true for them. How he made that happen. I mean, I just thought that was so cute. And I am definitely looking forward to more of the newlyweds arc because, I mean, I think in the next episode they're actually getting married and it's happening so fast. And I hope Eris doesn't come and crash the wedding. That's all I hope at this point because she does not deserve Rudius at this point. I am kind of mad at her still. So, yeah. Moving on, we got Grandpa and Grandma turn young again. Okay, before I started the show, I thought I was already in love with it. I thought that it was everything that I needed right now. And it already hit me in the feels before I even started the show. And then by the time I ended the show, I was like kind of disappointed and also a little weirded out because twice in the show, he was hit on by his granddaughter and his own daughter. Like, yeah, Gramps looked pretty stunning after he was after the age reversal aspect of the show, but we don't even get to see them eat the apple, which is supposed to rejuvenate them and turn them into young people again. And like, we don't even really see the two of them interacting about how they turned so young. Like, we see Grandpa want to jump her bones and then boom, the opening song. It just was weird that the daughter and the granddaughter were hitting on Grandpa to the grandma's face. And she was getting mad and like taking out on the grandpa. And it's like, I don't blame you, but because he wasn't really doing much to like stop them, which was even weirder. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to finish the show just based off of how cringe that first episode was. I'll give it until like episode 3 or 4. And if nothing changes, I might need to stop. I mean, I thought it was appropriate how like the older gentlemen were kind of like not necessarily turned on, but like attracted to the grandma who turned young because they're peers, you know, like it's not so creepy when it's like someone that you would play shuffleboard with one week and now they look like they're 25, which it was just weird how no one also brought that up or questioned it. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, they're young again. Sweet. Go enroll in the sports festival. You're not going to ask, hey, is this fair that how are you young again? Is this safe? Are you okay? Like, is it my turn? Like, no one's questioning why this is happening. And so I just thought that was a little bizarre. Yeah, anyways, I really did like this show. It was just a little weird how the family was just so immediately turned on by Grandpa. Grandpa also was getting more and more ripped as the show went on, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's like every scene that he was in, he would just get slightly more and more buffed out, and I was just a little confused. Yeah, the show ended abruptly. No one questioned how they got younger. The family was being creepy with the grandpa, and the ending song is kind of annoying in my opinion. So yeah, the show, it's gonna be maybe one that I force down if I even complete it, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on, we got the banished former hero lives as he pleases. Now, this might also be a show that I do not continue. I know they released episode 1 and 2 for this one, but I couldn't even get to episode 2 because I was so disturbed by how episode 1 was just so all over the place. I mean, he says he doesn't want to be found out as a guy who has these hero powers. And the first opportunity he gets, he's using his like magic eye to see that the princess is getting attacked by 3 demon devil dogs, and her armed royal soldier is doing essentially nothing to make sure that she stays safe. She is not it's like she doesn't understand how these devil dogs work, but it's like, you should at least know this much. Like, you would think that you would find these enemies on your path, and if you're protecting the princess and you're not even doing the bare minimum research of like what are the first enemies we're going to encounter on this trip, it just doesn't seem like you were really prepared for this. And I also read some other opinions on this episode saying that her armor wasn't good. I didn't really care about her armor. I thought it was fine. Maybe because it was completely open in the chest area. That's why people were criticizing it. But again, like, this show just didn't make a lot of sense. He didn't even mention the fact that the princess was his ex-fiance. I'm not even sure. I probably need to watch episode 2 to figure that part out. But again, it just, you would think that that would be something that they mentioned in the first episode, right? Like, oh, my ex-fiance is getting attacked by devil dogs, magic dogs. I should go save her. Like, he talks about how she like saved him from being ridiculed at a party for the nobles, like, at one point. But again, it didn't make any sense how he talked about how she had saved him, but that she wasn't his fiance. So it makes me think she wasn't his fiance. And I just feel like that's something that should have been mentioned by the end of the first episode, because that's in the synopsis of the description of the show. Like, what? I don't know. And then the fact that I don't even remember her name. The blue-haired knight girl, not the royal knight that's guarding the princess. The other, we'll call her like an adventurer. How the adventurer girl was going to just kill the townspeople's god, the dragon that they worship, for the sake of one girl who was already offered as an offering. And no one knew that she hadn't been offered yet. So it's like, instead of trying to destroy the dragon that the whole town needs, essentially, why not just take her with you and not go back to the town? Like, it didn't make any sense how she was just willing to basically sacrifice an entire town for the sake of one girl she didn't know who wanted her protection. Just protect her. Like, she doesn't have to, I don't know. And she obviously wasn't strong enough to defeat that dragon on her own. And she was like, yeah, I'll take the front. And she knew that he was stronger than her. So it's just like, you're just being difficult, and you're not protecting anyone if you're putting yourself first. Like, I don't know. This show was really annoying to me, and the flow of the story overall was just extremely lacking, and I don't know how to explain it. But I really want to drop it after one episode, and I just might. I'll give it, no, I won't do that. I'll give it like another 1 or 2. But as things are right now, it's not looking too good for the banished former hero lives as he pleases. Next show we're going to cover is Studio Apartment, Good Lighting, Angel Included. This is one of the shows that had 2 episodes come out as well. And this is one of those I'll take care of you type anime. And they honestly do really well for a reason. Everyone just wants a cute girl to show up and take the heavy load of living off of our shoulders. And I think the show would hit that mark pretty well. I mean, who wouldn't love to have like an angel or some other type of character come and just start cleaning and cooking for you? That just sounds like a dream, you know? I feel like that's something that everyone could relate to. Not always being able to take care of yourself the way that you would like, and kind of always like falling short on some of the things that you need to be doing in life. And yeah, I mean, she shows up and definitely takes the hard, heavy load off of this guy's shoulders. This might be one of my favorite shows that did a double release this season so far. I just thought Toa was so cute, and I mean, I really just want an angel to appear on my patio at this point. I might just be jealous of this main character. But I did like, however, how they basically called out creepy guys in this show. When the main character had essentially kicked her out of his home because he thought that she was trying to like do wrong by him. So he kicks her out, and then she immediately bumps into this guy who definitely only wants to use her for one thing and take advantage of her. And he sees them on the street, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, this gentleman was so nice. He just offered to take me in and live with him. And he's like, and he just runs away. But yeah, that guy was pretty creepy. And I'm kind of glad that they took a moment to like call out creepy guys in this show in general. I thought that was probably something that needed to happen. But yeah. And then last thing I'll say about this show is that I thought it was just really funny how his female friend obviously had a crush on him. So when she saw him like sending Toa off and then she flew away, that was honestly like a total facepalm moment. I feel like she probably should have known not to fly in public, you know, especially when people can definitely see you. That's definitely going to have a big part in the next episode. I'm excited to see how that goes. I got 2 more shows to talk about. The next one's going to be Girls Band Cry. This is definitely going to be the CGI show of the season. It was so uplifting and unexpected. I don't normally like shows that have mostly CGI, but the voice acting, the music, and the quality of the CGI really take over and carry it for me. I'm probably going to finish the show until the end of the season. And it's also kind of frustrating because it's not on Crunchyroll and it's not on High Dive. So I have to like stream it online. And I mean, it's probably going to be a little annoying to do that. But again, it was totally worth it because I'm so excited to see how the show carries on. I was a little confused because it almost felt like more of an episode 2, but I'll rock with the pacing for now. The middle fingers at the cooks that one character gave was just too funny in that first episode. She was definitely a little bit salty about that, the cook woman, but I loved it. And I also loved the plot and how interesting it seemed. And I wonder if the 2 that were originally chasing them off were actually going to end up playing with them in like a band or a group that they put together. I'm not too sure, but we're going to see going forward. This is going to be one that I definitely finish up. And the final show that we're going to cover today is Spice and Wolf Episode 1. Now, I know this is a remake, and I have not seen the original show, but I absolutely love this show already. I thought that Hollow was so funny and adorable, and I loved her fun teasing vibe that she already established with Lawrence by the end of not even three-fourths through the episode. I like how when she was opening up, he was fully aware that he was offending her by being afraid. She was laying bare her soul, and he just kind of was disturbed. And she was annoyed by how disturbed he was, and he was definitely annoyed with himself as well. So I think that their relationship is going to be one that is very healing for the both of them, especially after that type of interaction. I'm also feeling kind of bad for Hollow being cast aside by the villagers, as she was trying to help them for so long by like maintaining balance in their land. But now with these new gods, just, great crop after great crop, it's definitely going to bleed the soil dry. And I mean, I hope that she returns home to the north, but I also hope that the villagers actually realize that she was probably one that they needed to keep around. You can't have good harvest after good harvest and expect the soil that you're using to be okay after that. It's just not going to happen. A couple others this week that I'll be catching up on really today that I didn't get to put into this episode are Oitonbo and Tadaima Okairi. Tadaima Okairi, that episode came out right after I recorded this, so unfortunately I will not be putting that into this episode, but I will definitely talk about it in the next one going forward. Same with Oitonbo. And now for the convention and cosplay chat section of this episode. So while I'm not planning on attending on any conventions this month, I am actually currently planning a closet cosplay of Nana Osaki. I decided to celebrate the potential earning of 400 followers on Twitter and 100 on Instagram by doing a cosplay. And I let all the people on Twitter pick, and we all decided that Nana Osaki was the best choice. And I already have a lot of stuff here I can use in my wardrobe already, which is super exciting. Who knows, I might even post a little clip of me singing as well. I was in choir my entire school career, so I can carry a little tune. I'm really excited to cosplay her. I mean, I've been trying to get myself to do this for so long, and I've always been so nervous to cosplay, but now, I don't know, it just seems like something I am more confident in myself in trying to do, and I'm really excited to see how it works out for me. I'll probably do her look without a wig just because we both have black hair already, and I mean, my hair is pretty short as well, so I think that I'm confident that I'll pull it off. So yeah, keep an eye out once I hit that 400 follower mark on Twitter, and follow me to make it happen at AnimeHimePod on Twitter and on X, excuse me. And I mean, yeah, that's all I really got for today's episode. It was a shorter one, and I'm hoping that all the episodes going forward will be shorter besides the reviewing recap type episodes that I have. If you liked, listened, or related to anything I said in today's episode, please be sure to, rate it on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. It really means a lot, and it goes a long way. Hit me up on my socials at AnimeHimePod, AnimeHime Podcast. And as always, thank you so much for listening. It really does mean the world to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.